The idea of food, right, in India is, as you said, so deeply cultural, so intertwined, and classically our understanding of food has been that it's so cultural that you can't change.
For us, we grew up talking about work on every dinner table.
Yeah.
We wake up in the morning and then
We start
talking work. My first call is either to my father or to her, and we say, hi, how are you? And we discuss work.
Wealth is getting younger, and that's the fact of India today. So, how do you express yourself, right?
Welcome to the Dheeraj Sinha show, where we make connections between brands, consumer, and culture. And today on my show, we have Ashni and Avni Biyani, founders of FoodStories, creators of several consumer brands, and the retail revolution in India. So, Avni, Ashni, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Amazing. So, we'll dive straight into the conversation, right? We're talking about food stories, right? So, what exactly is the story we are telling? What are we building here?
So, I think FoodStory is a platform to access the finest quality of food in India. We actually believe that food has to be consumed exactly how nature intended, to go as close to nature as possible. And we believe that today we can improve the quality of life of our customers through food. Of course, through FoodStories, we are accessing the top 3 to 5% of India. This is an India which is well traveled. They have tried flavors and cuisines and ideas of food all around the world. And when we looked at customers of India in a post-COVID era, we realized that the world has fundamentally changed. Today, brands are being built digitally. Today, customers have so much information, idea, and a perspective on what is good for them. And their relationship with food had changed. Like the amount of cooking, baking that customers have done in homes during that time, it's been like a renaissance of sorts that has played out. And we wanted to talk to this new India, this new digital India where wealth is getting younger, where the biggest status symbol is in some sense you yourself, the body is the way in which you express yourself, in the way you perceive yourself, and that is upward mobility as well. So that's becoming very important, and health wellness is playing a very central role. And with that in perspective, we wanted to build a beautiful platform to tell stories with. There's nothing which is as central to our life as is food. Food is culture, food is belonging, food creates memory, food is discovery, food is expression. And with that in mind, we created FoodStories.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, the idea of food, right, in India is, as you said, so deeply cultural, so intertwined, and classically our understanding of food has been that it's so cultural that you can't change, right? The center of the plate, the roti, the rice, the dal is so hard to change, right? Most of the changes have happened in the periphery. Are you seeing dramatic shifts with this audience?
I think that's true not only for India but world over.
Yeah.
I think it's the last 25 to 30 years that we even see globally when new cuisines have actually made way. So if you went to Italy 25 years ago, it was so hard to find a Chinese or a restaurant or even a sushi restaurant, but that is changing today. I think immigration, migration, so much of travel, all of that plays a big role. And social media today plays a huge role in every society and every culture, and I think India is no different. In today's India, in any home, we don't think that 4 generations, if they're living together, are eating the same kind of food. People are having different kinds of breakfast, different kinds of lunch. I think everyone is trying to nourish themselves fundamentally differently.
And how much of this is food ingredients like taste, and how much of it is the experience of buying, shopping, environment?
I think it's both.
It's both?
It's 100% both. But to us, I mean, the product is what tells the story. The product is central to the storytelling, and we work tirelessly with farmers, makers, growers, chefs, and an entire community of food connoisseurs and devotees almost to bring forth the finest produce possible from India and across the world. And I think India has come a long way as well in the way in which we are interpreting food and food subcultures, whether it's coffee, whether it's chocolates, even with tea, even with so many more experiences.
Chili oils, There are so many interesting chefs,
Misos,
and
I mean-
misos, producers, and I think you see these micro markets emerging. Like you see Goa emerging with some of the finest
But
restaurants.
Goa is also
finest-
so crowded, right? And
Yeah.
everybody in Goa is making a cheese in their home.
Yeah,
or
everyone
a
is
gin.
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
bread,
Or a
or a
bread.
bread.
No, and I feel that's exactly the food story.
You see that as an
Yeah, we
opportunity.
see that. I mean, if you see micro markets like Goa, Bangalore, Bombay, Gurgaon, I mean, you just
Yeah.
see the kind of Korean expats that have given rise to Korean grocery stores in
And
Gurgaon.
restaurants, yeah.
Yeah, and restaurants in Gurgaon and karaoke bars in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
Or even if you go to the northeast and you see, the influx of like Sichuan cuisine
Yeah.
to their cuisine over there.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of interesting things happening in India around this whole subculture of food.
Yeah. And what would be, in your vision, say an equation between own brands, own labels versus outside brands? Because a lot of this is being curated by you, right? So there's also possibly a potential of building your own brands, which may in future, I don't know, go out of your own retail space and become
Yeah.
brands on their own. Is there a
Yeah.
thinking on that, or too early for?
Well, I feel like our job is to be a very fine product company.
Yeah.
And we are creating a premier sort of a platform which is both experiential, like you said.
Yeah. So product company or platform, like,
I
or,
think
or
we,
both?
we need
You
to be
think
both
it's
because
seamless?
it is seamless. Like you
Right.
correctly said, it is both, and people experience us through the products that we put on the shelves. Like
Yeah.
our shelves are not shelves alone; they are like stories that
Yeah.
we are actually communicating with our customers, and everything that we put forth is very mindfully done.
Yeah.
So I feel that is very important. So for us, it's not about our own versus someone else. We are really bringing forth stories that we believe should
Yeah.
deserve to be told to customers. And of course, we will do a lot of it ourselves to set the way.
Yeah.
So like we already said, we've taken the leap with our farm program, for example. We've already taken the leap with bakery and our breads, for example, and like that many categories will follow. And you'll see a different immersive experience of food stories
Yeah.
as we open the stores as we go ahead. Like even now we're the only store which has a juicery inside a store, where you can actually come and make.
So you can spend time in
Yeah,
the store. You're
yeah,
not
and-
asking
You have a
people to
cafe,
come
you
and
have a juicery.
We have a kitchen studio, which
Yeah.
is at the heart of the store, where you can build content.
Yeah.
You can immerse very meaningfully.
And you can come, you can learn how to roll sushi, you can learn
Yeah.
how to make pasta.
But tell me, in this day of quick commerce, right? We're not even walking to the neighborhood store, right? And India's also got such a huge supply on manpower in terms of support systems that we have, unlike our friends in the US or the Europe. Do you see people are walking in by themselves, high-end consumers?
Yeah, so
spending
we feel
time?
like, in fact, we feel like India has a dearth of public spaces.
Yeah.
And while we want the here and now to be available to us in 10 minutes or in a quick commerce-ish fashion, when you go out, you want experiences. You want engagement which is sensorially very rich. And that is exactly where FoodStories comes in. Also, the kind of assortment we
So it's
sell.
not a grocery
It's
ingredient
no,
shopping.
No, it's not a
it's-
typical
yeah.
and also the kind of products that we sell, whether, I mean, you can take a Korean tissue bread
Yeah.
that was, singularly conceptualized by us, created by us, that was inspired by Korea.
Yeah.
It's 50 extremely thin layers of a croissant
Amazing.
bread, which comes
The way you
together
explain it,
into
I
a
feel
loaf.
like eating.
Yeah, which comes into a loaf.
You feel like you're eating a cloud, literally. It's
Yeah.
so,
Wow.
it's
Now,
so slim.
products like this are not available on quick
Yeah.
commerce, and brands like FoodStories are needed actually, or platforms like FoodStories will be needed to build these new categories of consumption.
Yeah.
Back in the day, customers didn't know how to eat an avocado.
Yeah.
I remember that, back in the day also, we taught people, okay, this is how you cut it, this is how you
Yeah.
scoop it, this is how you combine it with onion, tomato, chili, salt, nimbu, and convert it to a guacamole.
Yeah.
And you still want to eat that guacamole, because you're buying an avocado for a fundamental
Yeah.
purpose. Similarly, new categories like that will come up, whether it's a Thai tender coconut.
Yeah.
It's one of our best sellers, and a lot of times people ask us, why do people pay this crazy amount? And what is so different from like a regular coconut? But when you drink that,
Yeah.
and
And I think it has a different composition. The
Composition.
electrolytes
Are way
score
higher.
way higher.
Yeah.
So there is a customer that will crave that and will want that.
And therefore stickiness will be higher.
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
and word of mouth. And
word of
all that,
mouth.
yeah.
And I also don't think these are categories that quick commerce can win on.
Yeah. And so, in terms of, again, quick commerce, right? I mean, would it be, some part would be home delivery, etc., or you think this completely experiential, physical?
No, I
and
think
that's a choice you're making. Or
no, I don't think we're making
Yeah.
that choice. We have a very strong online presence, and
Yeah.
as we keep building Food Stories out, I think we'll penetrate much more deeper into making sure that we reach customers' homes as efficiently as possible.
I think we will start where quick commerce stops and offer personalized commerce, and I
Yeah.
think
Right.
it is beyond A platform or B platform. For us, the important thing is to get the customer
Yeah.
and make sure that we are available to this set of customers
Yeah.
who are the most discerning, who want a certain level of service as well.
Yeah.
And that's where we step in, right?
Yeah.
And build that personalized relationship, and we are not just one more transaction in a dark
Yeah.
store. We are very differently planning our platform play.
Yeah, well, a lot of the experience of the store, just
Yeah.
the semiotics and
Yeah.
the sensoriness of that will get lost, right? If somebody rings a bell and just delivers it in a
I think
box.
there's
Would
a
you
need-
rethink that as well?
No, I think we are rethinking that. It's
Yeah.
too early for us to share how we are rethinking that. But I think very interestingly, what we're seeing is that customers come, they discover us both online or offline, and what they find as products that we curate and we put forth is very unique compared to any other quick commerce platform,
Yeah.
which is why we have a deeper relationship, better
Yeah.
sort of repeats and so on.
Yeah. And which categories do you see like flying off the shelf? Any stories on something which has been a breakthrough completely?
Yeah. No, so we discover many new categories and trends all throughout. I think one big realization for us has been just in the way in which healthy crackers,
Yeah.
and you know, this is part of grazing boards and tables in homes of our customers, and you know, the way in which we're seeing healthy crackers emerge as a category has been interesting. I think we created flaxseed crackers, or we created a ragi sardo
Yeah.
cracker, and this has been a great category for us. Even a bagel, for example,
Yeah.
right? I think we are learning that bagels are something that Indians are
Yeah, they're craving.
they're
and
craving. It's not easily
It's
available.
not easily
Yeah.
available, and that whole experience is different. I think cheese as a category.
Yeah.
You know, when we see dairy, when we see cheese, I think there's a lot of interest that we see from
Cheese is
consumers
becoming
there.
the new binge.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, the way people are grazing today, the way people are entertaining,
Yeah.
the way people
Yeah,
are
the cheese
buying
platter
cheese
is
for
the
yeah, it's a new
hosting.
it's a
And
new
new host-
hosting
yeah.
trend. Yeah.
But tell me, what we are talking right now, most are Western food items. What are you seeing? Are you seeing, is there an axis on Indian Western, or it's going all over? Is it more experimental? Where are you seeing
I
the
don't think
most
I don't think
offtakes?
consumers say that okay, this is Indian, this is Western, this is it.
It's all assimilated.
I think it's all assimilated, and I think
The thali has the cheese now.
yeah, the thali has the cheese, and the thali even has that bread, and
Yeah.
you know, the poha also comes into the crackers. So
Yeah.
I think in many ways it's a mix.
Yeah.
And in many ways we're learning to consume much more than we did before.
Yeah, like we were the first ones who created a ghee lab, right? In which way we showed how different kinds of ghee can be used in
Yeah.
different ways. And whether you use it for a laddu or whether you use it even to make your eggs in the morning,
Yeah.
there is this whole idea of a bullet coffee today, right?
Yeah.
Where you actually put a
Right.
fat in that.
Yeah.
And very often it is ghee, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many expressions. If you look at khapli atta,
Yeah.
it is fundamentally a very beautiful grain which is
Yeah.
sprouted.
Yeah.
And it is grown in a certain region and so on. So that is another way, and that is center of place.
So you're redefining all of it. It's not
Yes,
that
yes, it's not
you're
about
not saying
the cheese
you're not
alone.
getting bigger on say the experimentation
think,
or the
I-
external influences.
Yeah,
It's
I think
going all
customers
the
are
way to the
teaching us.
core.
I think last Diwali we found a single product which became a large story for us to tell, which was a very nuanced and a small batch way in which Gulkand was sold, right? So even a Gulkand has been reinterpreted by so many
Or
of
even
our
if you look at the new
makers.
Chavanprash and Amla Prash
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you know we're
Yeah.
putting out there today, and I fundamentally feel that the customer who we speak to, which is the top 1% to the top 3%, 4% of India, they don't look at their food eating habits as Indian versus Western. I think for them they've gone past that journey.
Yeah.
They're more on the quest for wellness. They're more on the quest for longevity.
Yeah.
They're more on the quest on how they can nourish their body.
Yeah.
So their morning rituals of what they wake up and what they consume.
Yeah.
what they're having for breakfast, what they're having for lunch, what kind of grains they wish to add to their diet, what kind of fruits and vegetables they wish to add, what kind of biohacking they're doing with seeds, with nuts, with different kinds of nutraceutical products. It's all undergoing a huge change.
So you do see a large thread of health and wellness in this?
Yes, absolutely.
In a dramatic way.
Yeah.
Interesting. And do you see these ideas go down the consumer strata soon enough, or are you saying right now we are focusing on this top 2-3%?
In fact, we feel like the young generation is teaching us a lot to be far more agile, far more. So they would come in for a deep experience at the juicery. And then they find new ingredients and they'll find a tissue bread which they have to try, which they have to take home. So Gen Z is actually very, very trend focused, and they immerse in trends like matcha, for example, right? It's such a good way for them to express a certain lifestyle that they feel and they belong to. And wealth is getting younger, and that's the fact of India today. So how do you express yourself, right? How do you find something that nourishes you? In some sense, that is where we stand.
Anything you guys tried in this format and did not succeed? I don't know, I'm trying to put you on a spot, but
I think
any learnings from there?
I think we try every day.
What's working better versus, is there a principle of what's working better than less, having done this for some time?
No, I mean, we do a lot of exploration very often. Like we created a product which we call the brie cakes, right? And it was a beautiful product and a reinterpretation of brie, and we felt like this will just fly off the shelf. But we realized that brie needs to be handled, tasted, you know, absorbed in a different way. So now we offer it, but we offer it only on demand. Like when a customer comes and asks for it, then we make it and we.
Nice. So next 3 to 5 years for FoodStories, what's it looking like? Where will this go? More stores, more online, or something else?
No. So I think both is what we are working on. It's been we started our first only last year in March. So it's been a year and a little more for us, and in this time we are very happy with the kind of response we've gotten and the kind of understanding we've got of the customers. So one of the things that we do is we actually study what I call India 1E, which is the top 3 to 5% of India who knows what they want. They're globally traveled, they're very curious, and they are always looking at, for them, in some sense, their bodies are their status markers, and for them, health, well-being, longevity is very critical. So we study these customers very closely. We have we study them, and we call this Study Eliteology. So we understand the different pursuits of the rich and how we as a brand will fit into these different pursuits and how we can be part of their social entertainment and their social spaces as well. So that's one of our big goals in some sense. We're right now in Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad. We will soon be in Mumbai. We want to do much.
To that.
We'll be. We want to go deeper in these markets for sure. But I feel like by then India will come of age. I think there's Ahmedabad, there's Pune, there's.
But you'll always be a large format, or would you play with that as well?
Yeah, right now our conceptual idea is for us to create experiences and then make sure that customers can find us online, and we are launching our app as well along with Mumbai. So I think then we provide that personalized commerce plug to the customer in a very deep, meaningful way and reach out to our customers. We believe that India has good potential, that India is looking to eat clean, India is looking to eat, even when they are indulging, they want to indulge with a lot of awareness. So if you're eating a croissant, you better eat a croissant with French butter. So
it must be worth the calories.
Exactly, and it must be worth the calories. Exactly. So I think that's the journey that we are on, and we've just started. So we have a lot to do in the next 3 to 5 years, and build both experiences, build products, and build a deeper resonance with the kind of service that we can give, and build that one-on-one relationship with customers.
So switching gears to that, right, from your brand and product offering to marketing to this audience, right? I mean, what do you feel? And classically, even as an agency, right, we market to at best premium mass India, because we're selling EV cars, or we're selling Spotify premium accounts and so on and so forth, right? How is marketing to this audience, and that to this audience, B to today's times different from all the
Yes.
marketing that we've seen done in this
Absolutely.
country so far.
Yeah. So we have a feeling, we have a belief that actually mass media is dead.
Yeah.
And customers today are spending a lot of time on their individual phones. And there are
And YouTube is saying they are the new mass media. So
Yeah, but we actually think that word of mouth is one of the strongest tools.
yeah.
You know that
events and activations.
activations, word
Yeah.
of mouth is probably one of the strongest tools.
For us, that
for-
is the way
Yes.
in which we build the
yeah.
brand.
And then go deeper, build one-to-one connections and
Relationships.
relations with these customers.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that can help you go a long way with them.
Yeah.
I think also as a brand, I think we are very distinct. We are far more poetic. I
Yeah.
think we were talking about
Yeah.
it a little earlier.
Yes.
And I think the depth of our
It looks
story.
far more curated. The
Yeah.
look, feel,
Yeah,
touch of
exactly.
the brand looks far
And
more curated.
we are in that sense, we are visually rich.
Yeah.
We are engaging with our senses. Like in food, I feel like if you can't tempt, you can't seduce,
For
if you
sure,
can't like bring that customer in
Yeah.
and want them to share their story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no longer are brands built in a way which is monologue.
Yeah.
They have to be dialogue. So we engage a lot with our customers.
But what would you do? All marketers want people to talk back, right? Every campaign in the world was probably done for consumers to react back, but very seldom does it happen. So how are you investing, or how are you locating those nuggets in your story so that people come back and have a conversation? Any
So I think one of the
examples
things
on
we
that?
do is like we create a lot of marquee events through which we meet these customers, we
Yeah.
engage with these customers, and they discover us very uniquely. We hosted India's first grocery rave in Bangalore at
Wow,
our store.
grocery rave.
Yeah,
I love that.
and it's exciting because there's no alcohol, and this
Yeah.
new generation is not
I've
only
heard
tripping
about
on
coffee
alcohol.
rave. I haven't heard of grocery
Yeah.
rave.
So we created various experiences in the store, various music vibes, and the store energy was completely different.
Yeah.
Even through the 5 hours of the grocery rave, we had various experiences, from a ghee lab to a caviar tasting, to a water sommelier coming in, to a hot sauce, flight of hot sauces, to coffee flights. There were so many, and an avocado anthology, and like cheese, which was curated from the finest cheesemakers of Bangalore. And when someone comes into this experience, it is so unique, it is so, it's so conversational, and at the same time, it's in a store which is beautiful,
Yeah.
and it's an experience that you're coming out for.
So you're pretty much creating your own channels, right?
Yes.
Of marketing in that
Yes.
sense.
And you have to create, and you have to go after a very distinct, and you have to also do it very distinctively.
Yeah.
Because I think today the customer is very smart and they have options.
Yeah.
We strongly believe that, and especially at the top 3%, the customer, there are so many people today, speaking to the same customer.
Yeah.
So one has to also go about it authentically and build products and services that are distinctive enough.
Yeah.
Without that also
think
one can't go ahead and build a
With
brand.
more
Yeah.
clarity coming in
Yeah.
on who your customer is, the sharper your
Yeah.
understanding
Then suddenly it all
is,
opens up.
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
ideas would flow much more easier. And I feel through these kind of ideas, we create word of mouth, we create a certain buzz, a certain community, we create a certain amount of love for the brand, and almost like, a fandom for a brand like ours over a period of time.
I'm just thinking aloud, would you say that scale would be antithesis to such an idea? Because
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely. It would
if you know kind of a
Yeah,
thing,
it would
right?
be.
Yes.
I mean, the
Yes,
moment
yes,
it
absolutely.
becomes
Yeah.
So we do
accessible to
have,
everybody, yeah.
I'm spilling the beans here, but we do
Yeah.
have a secret vault
Yeah.
that we don't offer to all customers even
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And the customers who we offer to, like you said, they know when they know. Like,
Yeah.
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 So there are certain products like
very rare finds.
Yeah.
like a certain asparagus with a certain kind of thickness,
Yeah.
certain kinds of caviar, certain kinds of cheeses. They don't even hit our store
Yeah.
shelves.
Yeah.
Our team is already in touch with house managers. Our team is in touch with
Chefs.
these consumers, these chefs, and before they hit the shelves, they are
They're
in their
gone, yeah,
homes.
for sure.
They're already in their homes.
Yeah.
So I think it's also a platform of a different kind.
Yeah.
For a very different
It's a new
and
grammar,
discerning
it's a new
customer.
syntax.
Yeah, because
yeah.
what's happened in India in last 2 decades is that everything become democratized, right?
Yeah.
Air travel is democratized,
Yeah.
brands are democratized,
Yeah.
right?
Food
and therefore,
is-
there are
food
no
is-
markers of
Yeah. Yes.
distinctiveness.
And this is
Yeah.
where FoodStories comes in. It is
Yeah.
a marker of distinctiveness. You want to shop here. It is a therapeutic experience.
So in terms of marketing, would you then ever go on a social media platform? Would you run campaigns digitally, socially?
So
as part
we
of
do
the,
that, but it is done in a very limited way,
Yeah.
just to create basic awareness about who we are.
Yeah.
And
Or
more
to
to
tell a
find
story.
us or to tell a story. I
Yeah.
think we are in fact aiming to do a lot more long form
Yeah.
and a lot more in-depth content about who we are and how we are unique and how we are distinct, rather than the usual clickbaity kind of
Sure.
communication.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about modern day marketing fads, right? Founders as celebrities or brands for themselves. What Shark Tank has done to the valuation of many companies, right? I mean, that as a tool was not discovered
Yes,
say 5 years
yes,
back.
it wasn't.
How do you guys respond to that?
No, I think it's a very legit channel,
Yeah.
and I think people want to know the people behind the brands, because a lot
Yeah.
of brands are being built digitally.
Yeah.
No one wants to buy a brand or a product from anyone who doesn't have a story or doesn't
Yeah.
have something authentic
Or
to
something
offer.
or something they don't resonate with.
Yeah.
I think founders are how people connect. Founders are how people feel like, oh, these are also people like us, right?
Yeah.
In some ways. So I think, no, and I think founders are great assets to build brands,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. But suddenly also brings back all the reluctant, introverted CEOs and
Yes.
founders in front
Yeah.
of the camera, but all par for the course, is it?
Yeah, I think we'll learn.
Yeah.
Founders will learn and evolve to this medium, and
Yeah.
I think founders have real stories to say. So
Yeah.
I think the story is more important than the camera.
Nice. What are the hard truths that, I mean, you guys have obviously now been in the business for a long time. What are the hard truths of building a consumer brand and business in India? I mean, the truth is that most of the people who have the money, the VCs, are averse of putting it in consumer brands, right? Everything is chasing the tech or the data. You have a tech data, everybody's chasing that. But from your perspective, are there any big learnings on what works, and what's something so hard that nobody told anybody?
I think most people overestimate the TAM. And I think
For
that's
sure.
probably the
Yes.
hardest truth, So, which is why she said that we have a lot of clarity on who our customer is
yeah.
and what our
Yeah.
TAM is. And
Yeah.
you brought up the point to say that probably this brand will not be a brand built for scale.
Yeah.
And we're very clear that it's not going to be a brand
I
built
don't
for
think it's
scale or
for
for
every
everyone.
city.
It's not for
Yeah.
every
Every
city, it's not
city.
for every consumer.
Yeah.
And we're aware of that, but I think that's something that most brands need to today be aware of.
Yes.
Who is your real TAM and what is the actual TAM?
Yeah.
I think the other truth in India today is definitely that there are micro markets, there are micro customers, there
Yeah.
are micro segments, there are audiences that can be defined more by pursuits rather than just psychographically or demographically to some extent. So I think there's a lot of understanding of that which is needed. India is not one country, we are multiple Indias. In fact, we have a theory of India 1, India 2, but we further slice that theory to say that there is one India which behaves like a Singapore, which is
Yeah.
0.4% of our population,
Correct, yeah.
but the per capita that they have is like that of a Singapore,
Yeah.
and the size of this market is like
Yeah.
a Singapore. The next audience is that which is like a Poland, and the size
Yeah.
is also that like a Poland in some
Yeah.
sense. They're around
3 to 4%.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that would take us further down, and then the rest of us are like of India 1 is still like Mexico, the size of a Mexico, still buying
Yeah.
on EMIs, aspiring a
Yeah.
lot, and I feel like you have to be very clear about this understanding of who
Yeah.
is your customer. And Indian customers are aspiring, Indian customers are definitely out there, but I feel like at the same time it's important to understand why we exist,
Yeah.
right, as brands, as businesses, and what is our purpose. Why
Yeah.
should customers take us seriously
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah, so get the micro market theory, right? I mean, the issue with that always has been that it's been hard to build a sustainable, scalable business for those
But the
micro
question is, why
markets,
do you
right?
have to build scale,
Yeah,
right? The
that's the
question
question.
also has to
Yes.
be, why can't we build
Not
it
everything has to-
profitably and
yes.
sustainably?
Yeah, exactly.
And
why-
not
yeah.
everything is for everyone.
Yeah.
And maybe the age of building more sliced, more
here.
well-defined
More meaningful,
brand
more personalized brands.
is here for
Yeah.
India,
Yeah.
right? So I think there's
Yeah.
enough of an opportunity there.
Yeah.
We're large.
And you're
market.
feeling good about doing this for a year, so you're saying,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
I
think, in fact, we are more and more convinced that this is how brands need to be built
built.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the absence of mass media, I think this is the best way to build brands out today.
interesting. And as women founders, right, and we are an interesting country at an interesting point in time. Of course, there's so much of empowerment, and at the same time, there's so much of patriarchy. It could be in the same room at a certain
absolutely.
point in time, right? Do you guys feel you are a poster child for that, inspiring women in India? What have your brushes been with empowerment versus patriarchy, and any anecdotes, stories, suggestions you'd like to share with people?
Yeah,
who are
so I think we
hearing
are really fortunate as women to be in a consumer business because we still refer to the customer as a she.
Yeah.
We think of customers as feminine energy. We think of customers in that sense
as a nurturer.
as a nurturer,
Yeah.
as also more emotional decision makers and not
Yeah.
rational alone. So I think that's, and as cultural carriers in some sense, right? So I think that's how consumption in this country has been working and will get negotiated. So modernity and tradition is always being negotiated as this country will evolve,
Yeah.
and that's not changing. But we do see that girl children are getting lots more importance today
Yeah.
in homes, in households, for sure. And there are so many beautiful success stories of that. I think like the Indian women's cricket team winning
Yes, for
is
sure.
such a beautiful
Yeah.
expression of
It's a
how
huge
we've seen this
inflection
in
point,
the
yeah.
in the sporting arena, for example, right? I think there have been amazing brands been built by so many women founders. Where I or we are concerned, we don't take ourselves so seriously. We believe
we
like
don't.
we need to do our bit, and people will get
Yeah.
inspired along the journey.
Yeah.
And I feel our actions have to talk much louder than.
But have you
than
ever felt
anything
more
else.
pressure because of being women?
No,
Or
I
yeah.
feel like we come from a place of extreme privilege in some sense.
Yeah.
With the kind of upbringing we had, with the
Yeah.
kind of exposure that we got. So I think we're cognizant of that fact,
Yeah.
and but like she said, I don't think you take being a woman so seriously.
Yeah.
In the sense of working, but we do like, and I know Ashni champions this a lot, but we do like to build more inclusive workspaces.
Yeah,
we
for
do
sure,
actually
yeah.
think that women would excel in certain
Yeah.
roles, and we do feel strongly about women coming back to the workforce, especially after giving birth,
Yeah.
and becoming, going on the maternal journey as well. So this is something that we discuss a lot. But it's not only for women, I think it's about representation of all of India in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I think, like I said, consumer businesses, women can be a huge
Yeah.
Yeah,
win.
because you have the insight in the room.
You have the
Yeah.
insight in the room, and you can represent
Yeah.
a lot of the customer and a lot of the consumer thinking
Yeah.
in the room. So I think it's a natural advantage. I also do feel that women must just take themselves a little bit more seriously, right? And
Talk a bit more about that.
I feel like women have so much potential, so much to offer.
Yeah.
And I only know about the consumer business, and there have been great examples of people having done it in the banking and the financial space, and we spoke about sports. So I feel like women must feel motivated from within to do this.
Yeah.
Only then will this work, because
Yeah.
as a society, yes, there's a lot we can do, lots more we should do to bring women in the forefront, but women have to lead the way.
It was also
themselves as
hard,
well.
right? It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and it's not been designed for
Yeah.
women to also succeed.
Yeah.
Like I feel like nature has not designed it for women
Yeah.
to succeed. So we just have to work.
Yeah, the
probably-
systems have to work
the
around
systems
that.
have to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
around that, and one has to work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that segues into your leadership values and leadership style, right? And of course, then I'm aware that you're curating something very different, right? So the service, the training, the
Yeah.
back end, the sourcing. I'm not sure how much of it was Control C, Control V, because you're not running a Control C, Control V business. So how's that journey been, and how have you managed your leadership style
It's
value?
still a
Has
journey.
it changed?
It has changed. It has changed in the sense that we are far more depth and focus oriented now.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's a bit of a change, it's a bit of a departure. What has not changed is our ability to think customers, to go deeper with
Yeah.
customers, to find those consumer insights, to understand India at its own terms is never going to change.
Yeah.
I think that is what we take the most amount of pride in. And because of the kind of experience we've had from the past, this is only getting richer and getting
Yeah.
more honed today.
Yeah.
But what we're doing a little bit more in depth and going very, very, almost going with the tooth comb and combing everything every day is almost the relentless focus, the relentless attention to detail. In fact, that's one of our values. And again, coming back to the women point, women will do this better.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
women will do
Yeah.
this way better
Yeah.
than men really can. So I feel that's that's a very different aspect of building a business for this top 3%. You have to detail, you have to nuance, you have to learn to tell stories in a more, in not just a very obvious way. So I feel like that is what is exciting for us.
No, and also when you look at, like you said, that this is a different business for a different generation, for a different era, and for a different customer, you also have to really work with your people and mentor them.
Yeah.
Because because no one really comes ready-made for the role. And there is no playbook, and no one has really created that playbook. And I think I think most brands are learning today.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying to figure it out, and so are we. So I think there's a lot of mentoring also, and there's a lot of do fast, fail fast, learn fast. Iterate fast.
I think one thing that is clear for any of us or all of us building brands in new consumer India is what we say today may not be true tomorrow.
For sure.
So
strong opinions loosely held.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to keep your ear to the ground and keep hearing, keep listening. In this world where memes are created literally as we go along, I think it's so important to remain in touch with customers, to pick and hold the pulse of your brand along with the pulse of the change in that is getting manifested
and
on
be
media.
extremely customer obsessed. I think that's the one value we try and drill down. Every single moment. How can we be deeply customer obsessed?
From a culture perspective, right, and especially in the startup context of India, where are you guys on hustle versus work-life balance? It's a loaded question. As new generation founders.
That's a good one. I would like to say we have a pretty, decent work-life balances. I don't know how to define work-life balance.
No, good question.
Yeah, for us, we grew up talking about work on every dinner table. We wake up in the morning and then we start talking work. My first call is either to my father or to her, and we say, hi, how are you? And we discuss work. So I don't know.
I think as founders, we live, breathe, talk, sleep this. Right? I think it is like another child that you're birthing. It is another parenting experience in its own right.
We have 2 children. My wife is turned entrepreneur. She said, this is the 3rd child.
Absolutely. So it's another parenting experience in its own right, in every which way. I feel like India needs to work harder. India needs
even
to
harder,
create.
you're saying?
Yeah, because like if you look at China, and China has this whole 996 culture, right? I'm not saying that is good or what we do is good. But I do feel like nations are built when businesses and enterprises succeed. We'll be able to employ more people. We'll be able to build value. We'll be able to value add to the economy. So every new business that we build, every value addition that we do, we are value adding to the building of the country.
Jobs,
we are building the country, we are building the nation, and we are a young country yet. And if founders and the people who follow with the founders, the co-founders and the key leaders and the teams together don't do what it takes to build India, I think then we are disappointing the potential of India in some sense. So I do feel like but India is very family focused, and everything that we do in our team, in our culture at FoodStories, at Think Nice is we try and know and meet the family and where the family is coming from. Because your family is going to be a large reason why you
that
work.
also is getting redefined, right? Dramatically.
It is getting redefined, but I feel
and friends and
but I feel like the younger you are, the more, like if you ask young people today, who's your role model? There is one person who's from the family. Right?
Thank
and
God
I feel that is
but I don't think that will ever go away because
India is that society, and we are fortunate to have that ecosystem.
And ultimately, we're all social beings, and you crave that connection and that community and that belonging and your friends and all. I actually feel people's worlds are expanding, not shrinking.
And because of the digital world, you crave that human connection even more, right? So I feel like families will be at the core of India. All the kind of new companies that like us that are being born will think about culture will have to think about it collectively and not just as individualistic alone. To some extent.
That's interesting because you're also building a brand in a category where, say, about 10-15 years ago, the model would have been import something from outside, right?
Yeah.
Get a licensing done.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Build a franchise.
Yeah.
Some are still doing that.
Yeah.
But you're building almost a global sensibility brand
Yeah.
from India. And
Yeah.
is that a conscious thing? Do you guys think about it, or it's just
We know we are
happening?
building a very fine experience. It is
Yeah.
almost at a place where retail meets hospitality. We are very
Yeah.
inspired by the likes of the Oberoi Group,
Yes.
or when you read another statement from large hospitality companies saying we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, which is
Yeah.
like the Ritz-Carlton, for example. So I think there's so much inspiration to draw from
Yeah.
the people who've done fine work both at the product end, at the
Yeah.
service end. So it's a journey, and I think India will need more
Yeah.
of this.
There's fewer examples of Indian brands in the luxury
Yeah,
space
very few.
beyond hospitality or say jewelry maybe.
But
Yeah.
I think like there have been brands
There
that
have
are
been
being
some
built
brands
now.
like
Like Good Earth is a
Good Earth
great
got
example.
created.
Yes.
Nicobar is getting created.
Yes. Yeah.
There's Sabyasachi has built a
Sabyasachi
fabulous
built,
brand
yeah.
that has
Yeah.
gone global.
Yeah.
So there are many that are
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
Yeah,
together
finally we are
today.
moving beyond yoga and
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we'll have a different kind of resonance
Yeah.
in India for India.
yeah. Yeah. As leaders, right, as business people, I mean, whereas they're still young, how do you reinvent yourself, right? Especially in today's environment where things change so dramatically, micro environment, everything changes, right? I mean, I can talk for myself. What I was 5 years ago, I'm not the same guy, and I'm happy to say that, right?
Yeah.
I'm happy that
Yeah.
I've transformed, I've changed,
Yeah.
I've dramatically, I'm a
Yeah.
different person. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody who met me 5 years ago would say, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
But do you guys work on that? Are you guys aware of it? Any thoughts on that for people who are listening?
I think
to
we are
us?
very lucky that our father ensures
Yeah.
that we remain relevant. He's younger
Yeah.
in mind than we can be,
Amazing,
even though
And he tells us every morning just how much we need to introspect and how much we need to reflect. And
No, and luckily in
Yeah.
a customer business, there's no other
So
option.
you have a
There's no
coach,
Customers
you have a
will
coach at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
and
coach at
we
home.
get slapped by customers very often.
Often,
So
yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
humbling, and it'll keep you hungry, agile,
Yeah.
and like, you sit on the edge of the seat every day. So it's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
thrilling
Yeah.
Uh,
So you think you
experience.
pushed into it. You don't have a choice. You don't have to.
Yeah, customers
I
will
actually,
push us
I
to
actually
it.
think if we remain the same, we will not have a business to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Is that
our-
hard?
We have
It's
to evolve.
that hard,
From
yeah.
the time we started to now, we've
Now,
evolved
yeah.
so much.
Like I know how
You
much.
think last 1 year you
Yeah,
evolved.
Yes,
yeah.
I know how much she's pushed me, for example, to say that, okay, imagine product for a younger India, imagine product for a Gen Z audience,
Yeah.
or like break this myth, break this understanding, and I think we have these conversations daily.
Yeah.
On who is our customer, what is it telling us,
Yeah.
or where do we need to go from here?
Yeah. No, very interesting. A quick rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Okay. One brand India should learn from.
So we have really inspired by Erewhon.
Yeah.
Erewhon is this
LA-based.
LA-based brand.
Yeah.
It's again a platform that is trying to build. It's got cult-like status.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very niche. It's again for a very select audience.
Yeah.
It's also based out of LA, so
Yeah.
that in itself,
It attracts a certain Hollywood vibe.
Yes.
vibe.
So-
And, but I think the understanding of wellness today, the understanding of longevity, the understanding of how to do collaborations with celebrities to just make smoothies into $100 million business. There's so
And they
much
do the
inspiration.
freshest products in their
Yeah.
store,
Yeah.
which is really inspiring because
Yeah.
fresh is the ultimate luxury.
luxury.
Yes.
To some
absolutely.
extent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like Erewhon is someone we learn from
Yeah.
every day. Like
Nice.
we're obsessed
Very
with them.
interesting. One Indian brand that you admire, not your own, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the inspiration has been Amul.
Amazing. I'll tell Jen bhai this. He'll love it.
Yeah, no, in fact, when I started business, I visited them early
Yes.
to learn from them.
Yes.
And then again, we visited them when little later. So Amul is a brand that really, truly, I think, understands and resonates at
Yeah.
the core, like it's a heartbeat of India.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm very proud of being the agency which
Yeah.
has been building that brand for 30 years. And it's an eye-opening. I mean, it's a brand you have to feel,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? You have to
yes.
feel. You cannot
Yes.
understand that
And it's a
brand from
brand you
outside.
blindly trust.
Yeah.
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 It's a brand that, it doesn't matter how many trends in dairy would have come and gone,
Yeah.
whether you look at Greek yogurt, you look at protein, you look
Yeah.
at fortified dairy products.
Protein now.
I mean,
They're
dairy,
obsessed
Amul
about it.
still rules the roost, and
Yeah.
you
and
know,
many other things,
and
because
many
now
other
I'm
things.
from inside, and
Yeah.
from outside you see that part of the brand. From inside,
Yeah.
what I see is the amount of process orientation,
Yeah.
how
Yes,
ahead they are on tech, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
the cows are, they have QR code,
Correct.
RFID, it's all app based.
Yeah.
In the villages,
Yeah.
they give the milk, SNF is there,
Yeah.
the money
Yeah.
gets credited
Right,
live,
live,
yes,
right?
yeah.
In deep
Absolutely.
villages
Yeah.
of
Absolutely.
Gujarat. So
Yeah.
No, I
the
think
amount of
it's-
tech process
Yeah.
is,
I think it's a brand that's made
amazing.
India so proud.
yeah, yeah.
And it's been so consistent.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. That's good. I didn't bargain for that, but thank you for that. One cultural trend that you think will fade away.
I want to take a bet that matcha will fade away.
All right.
Yeah, and
Wow.
bubble tea.
Yeah. So are you already deprioritizing the supply?
Not yet,
Not
but,
yet, but
we are building the next.
Yeah. So what's that next? What's the culture trend which is on the rise?
We'll tell you soon.
All right. A belief that you changed for yourself recently.
I think the only belief that I think I've changed is that nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
And nor will the customer be, and nor should we be. So today brands can be built in a slightly more open-ended way.
Yeah.
Today brands have to be built while you retain your core, you can constantly rewrite the stories within it.
Yeah, interesting and scary. But are you also seeing, you're seeing the brands from that perspective? Is scary for me as a brand builder.
No, I think this is the need of the day for
Yeah.
brands to be far more agile, far more
Yeah.
responsive, and a little bit more open-ended than ever before.
Yeah, than defined. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the gone are the days of
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
strong core being
No,
reinterpreted
yeah,
through
no,
decades. Very
absolutely
interesting.
not.
Yeah.
No, absolutely
So,
not. We
yeah.
can't build brands like that
Yeah.
anymore.
I would have to say it's the same because we're trying to not you're trying to not box your brand into
Yeah.
just one personality
Yeah.
and keep it a bit more fluid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's been our experience as well, because what gets you first 10 million doesn't get you the
Get
next
you the
10
ne-
million,
yeah,
doesn't get you the next 10 million. And what makes you stay in first 3 years
Yeah.
doesn't make you stay the next
Exactly.
3 years.
Yeah.
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 Interesting. A book, an idea, movie, an OTT program, a celebrity who shifted your thinking or inspired you.
I think for me, I study Shakespeare. So I
Nice.
study the tragedies of Shakespeare. And I'm really, really excited with the idea of, any good character has been created with a tragic flaw. So I'm very excited to understand what is the tragic flaws. And a tragic flaw is basically an idea of any large hero, any leader who that will cause their own undoing.
Yeah.
And even if you're aware about it, it is
Yeah.
a tragic flaw, so it will
Yeah.
cause your own undoing. So I think I always look at this in myself, in
That
reflection.
what are you blind?
What are you, yeah, and
Yeah.
what is our tragic flaw that
Yeah.
will cause our undoing,
Yeah.
and what are the ways in which on a daily basis we can
For
shake
sure.
something
Yeah.
out of that.
Yeah. Very interesting.
I love food and I love to think about food very deeply. So I saw one podcast series a few years ago by Stanley Tucci on Italy, and I think it made me think about food, and it made me think about culture, and
Yeah.
it made me think about the way societies are formed,
Around food.
around food
Yeah.
so distinctively. So I think that made me think a lot about India, the food around India, and also the food around the world.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, food is one of the joys of life, and at some stage it's also becoming very nutraceutical, measured,
Yeah.
grammage, and if you can bring that joy back while keeping the well-being and health code intact, I mean,
Absolutely.
that's the combination that the world needs, really, right? Yeah, and finally, I mean, what's the legacy? Too early to ask that question, but do you guys think about it? What's the legacy you want to create?
I don't know about legacy, but I think we want to build FoodStories into another Amul from beautiful inside out in its own way. A brand that customers remember. We create meaning in the lives of people that have been a part of this journey more meaningfully. And I think make it a very holistic, beautifully run inside outside brand, right? And build a foundation so root it so deeply that it is it can be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, just build something that customers can deeply resonate with.
Yeah.
That leaves a mark on them, and
Yeah.
we always say that there are two kinds of impacts you can have, either on a large quantum of people or the quality of lives of people. And
Yeah.
I think with FoodStories, we've taken
Going
the endeavor
deeper.
to go deeper and to really
Yeah.
be able to influence their quality of lives. And
Yeah.
I think if we'll be able to do that, even for the select few that we've set out to build this brand for, it will be a job well done.
Amazing. Avni, Ashni, thank you so much for
Thank
this
you.
conversation.
Thank you so much.
I get so enriched about this, and it's a beautiful journey you are on, building a never before brand from India and product for an audience you are unlocking. Looking at your success, hopefully many more people will join the bandwagon, which is good.
Absolutely.
The more the
Great.
merrier.
Yeah, the category expands.
Wish you all the best, all the heart for you.
Thank you.